Good evening, everyone. I'm Storm Track 5 meteorologist Alina Lee in the Weather Center this evening on a Tuesday, tracking the next round for showers and thunderstorms to move through the area. Right now, things are still quiet, and we still got a couple more hours before those storms start to arrive. And we're going to look right here on our satellite and radar picture first. We're going to focus in on this area of low pressure right there, just spinning closer to the Four Corners region. And out ahead of it, already some development you see here between the panhandle of Texas and Oklahoma. And so far, the Storm Prediction Center has actually already placed the panhandle of Texas and even portions of Oklahoma under a severe thunderstorm watch. That goes in effect right now, and you'll see here I put an arrow on there to show you kind of an overview or give you an idea of how far those thunderstorms are from us, and they're well 300 miles away from this point, so still a long time for them to make their way through here. But we're going to watch this area very closely for the development, and you can already see a couple of cells lined up here, 1, 2, 3, 4, just out of Texas, just between I-40 there. Those are going to continue to blossom as we head through the next few hours and move north and east, possibly riding up along I-35 in our viewing area as we head through late tonight. Mainly after midnight is when we're expecting to see those thunderstorms initially enter the viewing area, and then they're going to become more numerous, obviously, across our area as well. So let's get right to it. We're going to show you our forecast track, the latest update right now, to give you an idea of timing and locations, of course, as we push this clock forward by about midnight. As I mentioned, roughly around midnight, 1 a.m., we'll start to see some of that activity increase in just a little bit of our viewing area. Then it becomes a little more widespread by about 4, 5, and even 6 o'clock. But if you look at the darker shades of oranges and reds, indicating some very heavy rainfall expected as we get through tomorrow morning, and just down to our south. And what I mean by that is south of the metro, we're going to be really focused between Lawrence down towards Paola, Lacine, Garnett, and Ottawa, and even a portion of southern Johnson County as we head through late tonight into tomorrow morning, because this is the section or the area where we're going to be focused on the potential for seeing a couple, maybe a few strong to severe thunderstorms develop overnight into tomorrow morning. Now, the primary threat with these thunderstorms that are going to be moving into tomorrow morning will be mainly large hail up to the size of quarters. And of course, there could be an isolated strong wind gust of 60, maybe 50 miles per hour, and anything above 58, that's when it turns severe, or at least that's based on the severe criteria. As you see here, this is 11 o'clock. We're expecting most of the activity to finally move out of the area by at least 9 to 11. We'll start to see some clearing occur from west to east. That's not to say we won't have some lingering light rain around, but I think the severe threat should be long gone after 8 or 9 a.m. Then we look at 5, 6, and 7 o'clock in the afternoon and evening, with a second round of thunderstorms moving through. Now, once we've got this large cluster of storms to push through early tomorrow morning, what that normally does to our atmosphere is destabilize it, or I should say stabilizes it. It's already destabilized once it moves in. Once we stabilize the atmosphere, when that second round returns, it really limits the threat for severe storms for us. So we're going to be really focused on the activity tomorrow morning first to see how things really play out. Of course, that impacts the second round that's going to approach by the afternoon. However, I also want to mention that it's not to say we're not expecting any strong storms out there, because there could be an isolated strong or severe storm with this next batch, as the Storm Prediction Center has a portion of our viewing area under a marginal risk for tomorrow afternoon. I'll show you that risk in a second. This is a look at the impacts and the risks just for tonight into tomorrow morning, stopping at 7 a.m. As you see here, we've got isolated strong wind gusts between 50 and 60 miles per hour. That could be a threat from 1 or 2 of those storms tomorrow night or tomorrow morning. Hail up to the size of quarters or 1 inch in diameter. That is going to be the primary threat. We're expecting these storms to be a form of hailers, as they like to say here in the area. But you'll notice the area in yellow. That's where that slight risk for severe weather is located. Again, in the southwestern corner of our viewing area is where we're mainly going to be focused for those strong to severe thunderstorms. Now, overviewing the next 3 days for severe weather, or the risks there are, we're only expecting that risk tomorrow morning, and then in the afternoon, a marginal risk. I think the higher threat for stronger storms is going to be to our south as we head through the afternoon. Wednesday, Then by Thursday, things quiet down and we can eventually take a break from all of this wild weather. So that's pretty much all we're going to be talking about for the next 24 hours is obviously the numerous thunderstorms expected overnight and then potentially that second round that'll be arriving by the afternoon and evening. So you'll obviously want to make sure you've got multiple ways of receiving those severe weather alerts. Your phone, make sure you've got that pretty loud and the alerts loud enough so that they could wake you up. Obviously, the tornado risk we've been talking about very low, but not zero as we head through tomorrow morning. And even with the second round, I guess I should say that the risk for any spin-ups obviously very low, but something to monitor very closely on radar, which all of us here at KCTV5 will gladly be doing over the next 24 hours. Aaron Little and Bill Hurlbrink will be in tomorrow morning tracking those storms in the early portion of the day. I'll be back here tomorrow evening and also watching closely on the radar throughout the day as well. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, once we end this Facebook Live, I'll do my best to go back and kind of scroll through those comments. It's real hard to see on Facebook these days with all those changes they make really on those comments. So I appreciate you for sticking with me through this Facebook Live, and you'll also want to tune in at 10 o'clock when we have another update of your weather. Have a good night.